Bhaktivedanta Guru Sampadacha Sri Guru Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramahansa Asantar Sant Shri Sriman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Sri Prabhupada Namachari Saharidas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Bhava Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastava Guru Bhakti Vrinda Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopalat Sai Mukunda Radha Kunda Kuru Ram Puja Shri Vrindavan Dham Puja Shri Mayapur Dham Puja Ganga Jamuna Mai Puja Tulsi Bhakti Devi Puja Samadeva Bhakti Vrinda Puja Ananda Gora Vaishnava Bhakti Vrinda Puja Harinam Sankirtan Puja all glories to the ascended devotees. All glories to the ascended devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Radha. This one? Prayers by Queen Kunti. It's also Parikshit Saves, I think is the title of the chapter. Text 7. One, 8, 7. Amantraya Pandupatram Cha Saneyo Dadava Samyukta Daipayana Nipir Rahi Pujitahi Prati Pujita Amantraya Amantraya Panduputram Cha Saniye Yodara Samyukta Dai Prayana Dipi Vigrahi Pujati Prati Pujita. Okay. Would anyone on Zoom like to chant the verse?
Okay. Oh, good. Amatya Pandu Putramscha Danyodayava Danyutaha Vaipayanapihi Didnir Dipraihi Pujataihi Pratipujataha.
Amantraya Panduputramscha Sainayodhava Samyuktaha Vaipayanadhibhir Vipraya Pujita Pratipujitaha.
Amantraya Panduputramscha Shaine Yodava Samyutaha Dvaipayan Adi Birvi Prayi Pujitai Prati Pujitaha.
Inviting Pandu Putran, all the sons of Pandu, Cha, also, Sanaya, Satyaki, Uddhava, Samyuktaha, accompanied, Vagpayana Adivi, by the rishis like Vedavyasa, Vigrahi, by the Brahmanas, Pujitehi, being worshipped, Pratipujitaha. The Lord also reciprocated equally. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Apparently, Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna then prepared for his departure. He invited the sons of Pandu, after having been worshipped by the Brahmanas, headed by Srila Vyasadi. The Lord also reciprocated greetings. Purport. Apparently, Lord Sri Krishna was a Kshatriya and was not worshipable by the Brahmanas. But the Brahmanas present there, headed by Srila Vyasadeva, all knew him to be the personality of Godhead, and therefore they worshipped him. The Lord reciprocated the greetings just to honor the social order that a Kshatriya is obedient to the orders of the Brahmanas. Although Lord Sri Krishna was always offered the respects due to the Supreme Lord from all responsible quarters, the Lord never deviated from the customary usages between the four orders of society. The Lord purposely observed all these social customs so that others would follow him in the future. Amantraya Panduputramscha Sanayodava Samyuktaha Daira Payana Adipir Viprahi Punjatehi Prati Pujitaha. Lord Sri Krishna then prepared for his departure. He invited the sons of Pandu, after having been worshipped by the Brahmanas, headed by Srila Vyasadeva. Lord also reciprocated greetings. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So here we can see that even though Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord of all creation, the cause of all causes, still he follows the standard customs of society in the manner of greeting others and exchanging pleasantries between others and him. He's always very much interested in the condition of his devotees and their need for reciprocation. So the Lord does the proper form of greeting according to the Varnashram system. To the Brahmanas, he bows down to them. To the Kshatriyas, he meets on an equal platform, because Krishna is from the Kshatriya family. And the Vaishyas, he gives them all due respect, and to the Sudras and other castes, he receives them with sweet words. So this has been the custom for thousands of years. In this particular case, 5,000 years, and a little more. Because in order to ensure others understand this etiquette, he himself practices it. Just as when there is a war, the general should go out in front to meet battle. He should lead his soldiers into battle. He shouldn't be sitting in the background, watching what's going on, giving directions. No, he should be actually participating in the engagement. The same way that his soldiers are participating. Krishna, no matter what caste he appears in, Brahman, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra, he always follows the etiquette of that caste in order to instruct others in the proper means of exchange. When there is such order in society, everyone feels content, they feel happy. As soon as there is some disorganization, there is great distress, and the end result is there is lack of cooperation with others. As this etiquette is there, so as is described in the Shastra, and it is practiced by those in various different orders, this leads to some peaceful interaction within society. This idea of respect is essential in the relationship of one individual with others. That respect must be there to ensure a peaceful society. In the previous text, it mentioned that there were 6 different or 5 different people who were to be protected. And by proper behavior with those 6, we can see the results of this interaction between others, different individuals. By this proper interaction of these 6 with others, everyone becomes pleased and society progresses in Without this, there's little hope of advancement in society. And as was mentioned in one of the previous purports, even a slight insult can have disastrous effects. One should always approach others in humility so that proper interaction can go on. And these loving exchanges produce a loving effect within society, a caring. No one feels disrespected, and without having received proper respect, there is always some question: am I worthy? There's also some question: don't they know who I am? All these various different thoughts pass through the mind. I'm sure everyone has, at one time or another, had those kind of experiences. And when one is greeted in a respectful manner, one feels very much pleased. But as soon as there is some disregard, some feeling of inferiority, so we see this is very prevalent in present-day society, to not give proper respect and to abuse one's position. All these greater forms of distress cause much anxiety within the society itself. No one really understands what kind of person they're dealing with and what that person is capable of doing. So much distrust is there, so much misinformation is present, and all of one's actions are questioned. Whether one's activities are proper, or in the first few years, the sun would set and the warriors would set aside their arms. They may have just been fighting with an opponent on the battlefield, but at the beginning of the war, at the beginning of Kali Yuga, they would offer respects to each other according to their positions, even though they were there to demonstrate to the other party that their position was superior. They would still always humbly bow before the other party. And then together they would sit down and eat and discuss not only the various different things that had happened on the battlefield, but also of some of their desires and wishes. In some social discourse, even with an opponent. But as Kali Yuga progressed, and the imminent ending of the Kurukshetra war became closer, these were all put aside, even to the effect that Aswatthama sneaked into the camp of the Pandavas and murdered the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi. And men of The idea in the Kshatriya code is that persons of equal capabilities met on the field of battle, not that a superior person engaged with someone of an inferior category.
Here, here, just after the war of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna, he was the king of Dwarka, and he had come to Kurukshetra, and he had helped his devotees, Pandavas, his dear devotee Pandavas, and he wanted them to know that they had the privilege of being the emperor of the world, and how they were reinstated, and Yudhishthira was reinstated as the emperor after the Kurukshetra war, and now they were trying to leave his kingdom, Dwarka, for that context. So then we have to know, why did the whole war happen? So the Goswami explains it in just one of them, that the clever Duryodhana and his party were cunningly asserting the kingdom of Yudhishthira. And Yudhishthira, he never had any enemies, he never told any lies. And by the grace of Almighty God, he did get what he expected. And he was executed for his unscrupulous by the king, that Duryodhana. He was very, very cunning and bad. And they were all killed. And the others also died during, in the duration of life, having decreased their rough handling of their hero, because Queen Kunti's sons had died too. No, Queen Draupadi's. So we know that the Draupadi's sons were killed, and so there were no heir to the crown. So that was the custom, that the sons were going to be the kings after that. And they had the customs and the 4 orders of the caste systems too. And those days they followed everything. And just before the departure to Dwarka, Krishna invited the sons of Pandu and he was being worshipped by them, and the Brahmanas headed by Vyasa Deva, and Lord also reciprocated greetings. So, for example, we see in our community, some of the devotees come from different centers to get trained here, and some of them stay for a year or 2 years. So they were there and they were greeting each other. And they got the blessings from Krishna at that time. And there were no seniors or juniors, so Krishna regarded everybody the same. But then when he was in the world acting as a Kshatriya, he took the kingdom. He was ruling in Dwarka. And then when he was leaving, after he was reinstating Yudhishthira as the emperor, and all the people came there to greet him. And as a Kshatriya, Lord Krishna is supposed to pay obeisances to Brahmanas too. The Brahmanas were there too. Udva, Vyasadeva, they were all the Brahmanas, and they knew the position of Supreme Lord. So they knew that we are, although Lord is seeking our blessing before his departure, they knew that the Lord Krishna's position, indeed, they knew that he was supreme. So we have to know that even the Lord came to this world and he played different roles. And some roles that we all know, that he was a cowherd boy representing Vaishya community. In Dwarka, he was a king representing the Kshatriyas. And in Kurukshetra wars, he played the role of a charioteer. Okay, being a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Sudra, we all know that is the Supreme Lord, is beyond. But the Prophet writes, the Lord purposely observed all these. And there was all these social customs that was going to be followed after Krishna had left. And who were the Brahmanas, such Kshatriyas, Vyasas, and Sudras? We all know that they are the four orders of life, of social orders in the society. And that was created by the Lord himself from the Bhagavad Gita. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I have created these four orders and I am beyond Krishna. And beyond this, Krishna declares that still, when he comes in this world and when he plays some role, he plays perfectly, not just in terms of duties. Brahmanas have particular duties, and similarly, the Chaturas and Sudras, they all have their own duties. So Lord is setting an example of how the society should run and how each one of the society, each word of the works that are in doing with guna and karma. Gunas are based on the day's time and situations, and our modes keep changing. And our gunas can be determined. So who determines? We all know who is the best person to determine the gunas. So we see here that I was just trying to read from Krishna book when Rukmani sends a letter to Krishna asking her to get kidnapped. Isn't it ended through a Brahmana? The letter was sent through a Brahmana, and we all see here the conversation. And then we also see how Krishna, he received the Brahmana when he got the letter. So when the letter comes right when Rukmani had sent the letter, and it's reaching the gate of Dwarka, and Brahmanas informed the doorkeepers of the arrival of the doorkeeper led him to the place where Krishna was sitting on a golden throne. This was fortunate enough to see the personality of Godhead, the original cause of courses. Even the Brahmanas felt fortunate. I am fortunate for being the messenger of Rukmani. So you know how Krishna got up from the throne and he read the letter. So in this way it is taught that everyone that worshipping the devotees is more valuable than worshipping him. And here Krishna is reinforcing that worshipping devotees is more, so that is still more what Krishna can do as a Kshatriya. So here, like they describe all the duties of each social order of a sect of people. And then you know the story how the Brahmana goes back with a message of Krishna to Rukmani, and how Rukmani feels so obliged that this Brahmana has done my work and is total prophet, writes Rukmani. So she's kind of thinking I should give the Brahmana everything. So
if one is always giving respect to other entities, treating them with the respect that is due to them, overcomes this ego mentality. This is why, as is mentioned, that those 6 individuals who are requiring some kind of protection, if any of those are in any way disrespected, one's lifespan is shortened. This is one of the major things that are seen in this present age. Normally, one would live on this planet for 100 years. But due to this disrespectful mentality, nowadays, many men, lifespan is no longer than 78, 79 years. And a woman, maybe a little better, 80, 81 years. So they concede that they've shortened their life by 20 years due to some past misbehavior, lack of respect. If that respect is not there, if one disregards, but to speak of more violent activities, the end result is shortening of one's lifespan. These are not minor infractions. These are major infractions. Just to disregard the directions of the Supreme is unhelpful in that sense. One's lifespan is shortened. Of course, various different diseases and other things appear to speed up that degradation of the living entity. So very much respectful. In the Vedic culture, when family members would meet first thing in the morning, upon rising, the husband and wife would offer respect to each other, bowing down, touching their heads to the floor, asking for forgiveness for any improper or previous activity. And then, when they would meet their parents, they would do the same thing. And when they would meet their children, they would receive